Randy Barton here again as I take you on my summertime cut for this year, going from the winter bulk to summer lean. Summer cutting going on right now. Here's my weekly check-in, weigh-in, and telling you 2 of my favorite meals to have while cutting. Stick with me here. So let me tell you 2 of my favorite meals, and really I'd say I have these twice a week on an average week. These are something that's definitely a staple of my summer diet, my summer nutrition plan, leaning down from about 12 to 14% body fat down to 5 to 7% body fat. Huge difference in that, and that's a tough marker to break. So how do I do that? Well, I'm going to give you 2 meals today that are a staple of my cutting diet. First, let's weigh in for this week. And let me tell you into this, something that I've altered a little bit of my nutrition, telling you this each week by week, is I've increased my creatine levels. I dropped them down just from different round I was doing a Body Beast for the last phase. I actually should have increased about 2 weeks ago, completely forgot. But here's what I've done. I've increased it from being 5 milligrams up to 10 milligrams a day. And so in that, I know I'm going to retain a little more water, and it's no biggie. I'm going to continue doing this through the end of May. So in that, creatine makes you retain some more water. But let's go check in, see what we've got for this week. Last week, I believe, was 193, 191. I don't know, but let's go see what this week says. As you see, this week is up just a few pounds. I already said that's going to be likely. It happened. No biggie. I know that it's not fat. I know that it's water. And in all reality, you're going to vary that much from day to day anyways, depending on what your water content is. So just because the scale goes maybe the wrong way for a couple times, it doesn't mean that there's actual fat gaining. It also, if it's this close together, is not going to be muscle, so don't fool yourself. But let's get to these 2 meals that are basics of my nutrition during the summer while going lean. In fact, they're very similar to those when bulking, it's just there's a few more carbs added in. Let's get to the first one here. First one is going to be a chicken breast with vegetables. Here's what it is. It's going to. I have normally 8 to 12 ounces of a nice lean chicken breast. I make sure if I put any salt on it, it's very minimal because I don't want to be retaining water because of sodium intake. Typically what I'll do is throw a little pepper on top, maybe a little bit of garlic powder, and then have a cup of vegetables. I like to have frozen vegetables on hand, have a cup of frozen vegetables. Lately we've just had a whole lot of canned veggies that are about to go out of date, so been having those. And even in that, this is for both the meals, because you'll see there's a cup of vegetables both meals. I try to be intentional on what I've eaten the rest of the day to fit the macros I need to reach my goal as far as what vegetable I have. If I've been very low on my carb intake for the day, I'll go ahead and splurge with some sweet peas or some corn. Otherwise, it's going to be broccoli or green beans, and it's going to depend on the rest of the day. So that was the 8 to 12 ounces of chicken breast, and then a vegetable to go along with it, about a cup of vegetables. Now the other meal, you keep that cup of vegetables, but instead of it being a chicken breast, it's going to be ground turkey. Sometimes it's the 85-15 percentages, sometimes it's going to be the 93-7. In all reality, it depends on my mood, supply, demand, sales, whatever it may be. But always stick with ground turkey is what I do to avoid red meat, some of the things go along with it. In that, what I'll do is I will fry it up in a pan with no grease, obviously. If there's any grease comes out of the 85-15, just simply drain it off, dab it out. Best option is do it on a grill. Again, just a little bit of pepper on it, maybe a little bit of garlic powder, sometimes a light sprinkle of salt, but trying to stay away from the sodium. That's not always the case. And when I eat it, I simply top it off with a little bit of mustard. My preferred mustard is something, maybe a Southwest Chipotle mustard or something. And then, of course, as was mentioned, those cup of vegetables with the same rule on which vegetable it is. If you want to spice that up a little bit, I'll throw in kind of a bonus option when it goes back to that chicken. Something that's really good if it's going to be a chicken broccoli mix is I'll take very little, maybe a tablespoon of Alfredo sauce and stir it in with the broccoli and then put it over the chicken to be able to bake it. And when it's baking, it gets just the flavor of everything through without picking up a ton of the fat from the Alfredo sauce. And it just gives a really nice flavor to it. So there's the meals. You got the chicken with the cup of vegetables, the option of a little bit of Alfredo sauce, and then you have the ground turkey burger added into a patty with the cup of vegetables. And those are absolutely delicious. I love them. I'm a guy, and I hear guys all the time say, I could probably have the same meal every day. And I hear a lot of women say they don't understand guys because guys could have the same meal every day. And maybe you couldn't do that. Maybe you could. I don't know. You know you. But I know me, and I know this is something that works for me to reach my goal. What are you doing to reach your goal? If you're not doing something to reach your goal because you planned it, you're being intentional about it, don't be disappointed when you don't reach it. Maybe you just stumbled onto this video on YouTube. By all means, subscribe. Maybe I sent this to you because you signed up for coaching. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, add a nice comment below. Tell me what you are doing to be intentional on reaching your goal right now in your health and fitness. This has been Randy Barton, Team Beachbody Coach. Join me next week as I do another weekly vlog of my summertime cut, weigh in, everything with you. See you then.